Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the news from SABA satellite channel from Marib. Here are tonight's top stories.
President Al-Alimi urges swift implementation of detainee release agreement.
PLC member Al-Subaihi discusses security and peace efforts with UN military delegation.
Saudi program and UN Habitat sign second phase of adequate housing project. Welcome back. President of the Presidential Leadership Council, Rashad Al-Alimi, received today the government negotiation team on the detainees file headed by Hadi Hage. The President was briefed on the latest round of negotiations held in Amman under United Nations auspices, which resulted in an agreement to release 1,750 detainees and abductees. President Al-Alimi welcomed the humanitarian agreement, congratulating the families of detainees, forcibly disappeared persons, and prisoners on what he described as an important step toward reunification. He praised the government team's national and humanitarian responsibility in handling one of the files most closely linked to the suffering of thousands of families. The President stressed the need to accelerate implementation according to the agreed mechanisms and timelines, and to avoid and delay any delays that could prolong family suffering. He also highlighted the importance of verifying the fate of Mohammed Qahtan, describing it as a top state priority, in line with Security Council resolutions calling for his immediate and unconditional release. President Al-Alimi praised the roles of Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Oman, United Nations Special Envoy's Office, and the International Committee of the Red Cross in supporting the agreement.
President of the Presidential Leadership Council, Dr. Rashad Al-Alimi, sent a congratulatory message to King Harald V of Norway on the occasion of his country's Constitution Day. On behalf of himself, the members of the Presidential Leadership Council, the government, President Al-Alimi expressed sincere congratulations to King Harald. He wished the king continued health and happiness, and the government and people of Norway further progress and prosperity. President Al-Alimi also expressed his hope for continued growth and development in bilateral relations between the two friendly countries across various fields.
Member of the Presidential Leadership Council, Lieutenant General Mahmoud Al-Subaihi, received today a United Nations delegation headed by Anthony Hayward, military advisor to the UN Special Envoy for Yemen. Al-Subaihi affirmed the keenness of the Presidential Leadership Council and the government to continue coordination with the United Nations in support of peace, security, and stability. He said Yemen's security is a key pillar of regional security, stressing that stability in Yemen and instability in Yemen directly affect regional and international security, especially maritime routes. Al-Subaihi warned that Iranian support for armed militias fuel chaos and undermines prospects for lasting peace. He also stressed the need to support state institutions and strengthen their security and military capabilities to counter terrorism and secure international waterways. He reaffirmed commitment to the three agreed references for a just and comprehensive peace.
Member of the Presidential Leadership Council and Governor of Hadramaut Salim Al-Khambashi stressed the importance of integrating media and civil society to promote public awareness, peace, and social cohesion. During meetings in Al-Mukalla, Al-Khambashi reviewed the program map and seasonal coverage of Hadramaut TV, including awareness, cultural, and social programs, as well as coverage of national occasions and community events. He praised the channel's professional role in highlighting service and development issues, promoting positive initiatives, and strengthening Hadrami identity. In a related meeting, Al-Khambashi reviewed the activities of Women's Democratic Coalition for Development and Peace, including peace building, women's empowerment, combating hate speech, and the Hadramaut Brings Us Together initiative.
Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates Dr. Shahar Zindani issued Decision Number 7 of 2026, establishing the Public-Private Partnership Unit. The decision is a strategic step aimed at improving the investment and development environment and encouraging national and foreign capital to contribute to economic recovery. The new unit will organize and manage public-private partnership affairs, serving as the central technical and advisory body for developing and implementing partnership projects. It will provide technical support to contracting authorities and oversee all stages of projects, from identification, feasibility assessment, and structuring to procurement, contracting, and field implementation. The decision also gives the unit a role in institutional capacity building, improving the efficiency of local companies, and managing information and disclosure through regular reports to the Partnership Committee. The government says the unit will help identify priority sectors and projects, attract private investment, create jobs, improve living standards, and support basic services, including electricity, water, health, and education.
Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates, Dr. Shaya Zindani, received today in Aden Libyan Ambassador to Yemen, Idris Abu Bakr. The meeting discussed bilateral relations between the two countries and ways to strengthen and develop cooperation in various fields. The two sides also exchanged views on national, regional, and international developments and discussed coordination on issues of mutual interest. Zindani praised the Libyan ambassador's efforts to enhance relations between the two brotherly countries and peoples. He also affirmed the government's keenness to activate areas of bilateral cooperation with Libya across different sectors in a way that serves shared interests and strengthens the long-standing ties between Yemen and Libya.
Yemen has strongly condemned the attacks that targeted the territory of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, with drones coming from Iraqi airspace. In a statement received by the Yemeni news agency SABA, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates affirmed Yemen's full solidarity with Saudi Arabia. The ministry also expressed Yemen's support for all measures taken by the kingdom to protect its security, sovereignty, stability, territorial integrity, and the safety of its people. The ministry praised the vigilance and high efficiency of the Saudi armed forces and security agencies in dealing with such threats. It reaffirmed Yemen's firm position in support of Saudi Arabia's security and stability, stressing that any threat to the kingdom is a threat to regional security as a whole.
Minister of Information Muammar al-Iryani met today in Aden with Libyan ambassador to Yemen, Idris Abu Bakr, to discuss bilateral relations and ways to strengthen cooperation in the media field. During the meeting, al-Iryani received an official invitation to participate in the ministerial meeting of Arab information ministers scheduled to be held in Libya next September. He thanked Libya for the invitation and welcomed participation in the event, describing it as an important opportunity to strengthen joint Arab media work and coordinate positions on Arab issues. Al-Iryani affirmed the deep historical and brotherly relations between Yemen and Libya, praising the Libyan ambassador's efforts to enhance bilateral ties and expand cooperation. He also stressed the importance of stronger Arab media coordination in addressing current challenges, exchanging expertise, and developing an Arab media discourse that serves shared causes. For his part, the Libyan ambassador affirmed his country's keenness to strengthen relations with Yemen and enhance communication between media institutions in both countries.
Minister of Legal Affairs Ishraq al-Maqdari met today in Aden with Mohammed Suleiman, head of the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights in Yemen, to discuss cooperation in legal and legislative fields. The meeting reviewed the ministry's efforts to improve the legislative environment and strengthen legal guarantees for basic rights and freedoms, in line with Yemen's international human rights commitments. The two sides also discussed existing cooperation between the ministry and the UN office, dating back to 2013 and 2014, and stressed the importance of resuming discussions on the draft transitional justice law. The minister further addressed capacity building programs for ministry staff, especially in legislative drafting and aligning national laws with international human rights standards. Al-Maqdari affirmed the ministry's commitment to developing national legislation that promotes justice, the rule of law, and public freedoms, while the UN official confirmed continued support for legal and institutional reform efforts.
Minister of Water and Environment Tawfiq Al-Sharjabi met today in Aden with David Tanto, Development Cooperation Officer at the German Embassy to Yemen, to discuss strengthening partnership and coordination in support of water and environment projects. The meeting stressed the importance of evaluating projects by supporting organizations and funds, improving coordination among relevant bodies, and ensuring accurate and transparent exchange of information. Both sides emphasized the need for integrated efforts between government institutions and international partners based on clear plans and regular monitoring and evaluation. Sharjabi welcomed Yemeni-German cooperation, praising more than 60 years of historical relations and Germany's support for water, environment, and development projects. He also stressed that all interventions should go through the ministry and relevant local institutions to ensure they aligned with the national sector priorities. For his part, the German official affirmed Germany's continued support for Yemen's water and environmental sector.
Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Fisheries, Major General Salim Al-Suqatri, met today in Aden with a team from the United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, to discuss strength in partnership and coordination in support of the agricultural and fisheries sectors. Al-Suqatri stressed the importance of directing international support according to the ministry's actual needs and urgent priorities in order to achieve greater impact and enhance food security across the governorates. He said the current stage requires more focus on sustainable projects with direct impact on citizens, particularly in agricultural and fisheries infrastructure. The minister also called for unified efforts to rehabilitate fish landing centers, research facilities, and rural development projects and livelihood programs for farmers and fishermen. He said these interventions can help reduce migration from rural areas to cities, especially amid climate challenges and rising production costs. For their part, UNOPS representatives reviewed their projects in Yemen, including road and transport infrastructure projects that support the movement of agricultural and fish products between governorates.
Saudi Development and Reconstruction Program for Yemen signed an agreement with UN Habitat to implement the second phase of the Attica housing project on the sidelines of the 13th World Urban Forum in Azerbaijan. The agreement was signed by Abdullah bin Qatsa, Head of Institutional Relations, Communication and International Cooperation at the Saudi program, and Reina Hadia, UN Habitat Regional Representative for Arab States. The signing was attended by Minister of Public Works and Roads Hussein Al-Uqrabi. Second phase aims to rehabilitate 760 housing units for low-income families in Aden, Ta'iz al-Lahj, benefiting around 4,560 people. The project will prioritize the most vulnerable families, including female-headed households, persons with disabilities, and the elderly. It will also train 220 unemployed young people in vocational skills and qualify around 50 government technical staff, supporting livelihoods, social cohesion, and local capacity building.
That was the news bulletin from SABA satellite channel from Arab. Thank you for watching. Have a good time.
Have a good time.